design peeps. So we are. I don't have my headset. Hello, design peeps. So happy Thanksgiving. This is the Thanksgiving episode. I'm throwing my microphones and everything around. Let me follow myself on live. So this is the Thanksgiving issue. This is the I'm a Designer of Bitches episode. So a little bit about Design Wall, or Design Talk. This is a call-in talk show. So hit the red, I don't know where it's at, or the green and white join button and call in. Today we are talking about designer bitches. We did a little promo. It said, we all go meet up with our families for Thanksgiving, and some of them just don't even understand what we do. So you meet up with your Aunt Edna, and she's like, "Hey, what are you up to these days? What are you working on?" You're a designer, bitches. Take some pride in what we do. I keep hearing week after week. We've been talking to designers. I've been on the road traveling for the last 2.5 years. I've been in the industry for 18 years, and in a creative industry, sometimes it's hard to define what it is that we do. And sometimes it's hard to even take pride in that. I know we're passionate about it, but, how do we define it? People always wonder how we make money. Sorry about that. Am I running a little bit behind, Rod? Well, hey, this is a call-in talk show. This is not just me talking. You could join in the call. Hit the share button. Hit the comments button and throw your URL in there. Mention friends, and let's get the calls coming in. We've been teasing this one up all week. This is the Thanksgiving issue of I'm a Designer, Bitches. So this is you guys. This is you guys taking pride in what you guys do. Some of you guys might have trouble even defining what you guys do. You're going to be meeting up with family and friends, and they're going to ask you, how are things going? And the truth is, in this industry, there's a lot of feast and famine. You might not be doing so hot right now. If you are, that's awesome. Then it's really easy to define that one. I'm making money. If you're not, then you're probably maxing out your credit cards. So the message is embrace shameless self-promotion. Yeah, I know. Do it. This is in the comment section. Throw your URL. Brand yourself. These episodes have been going. We've been clearing several thousand people well live. So feel free to join in. This is a call-in talk show. This is not just Joe talking. So join in on the phone. Join in on the call. I'm going to try to add some of this in live. Let me share it. So join in. This is your guys's call-in talk show. So join on in. I'm going to share this to the group page. So we have a groupies page if you guys didn't catch that. But I can't see I'm a Designer Bitches shirt being added to the store. You know what? Yeah, so we opened up a online store, and let me add this in the fan page so you guys can find us on the fan page, and you guys can find us on our new Design Talk business page. So yeah, we started offering swag, so you guys can actually order a coffee mug that says "Fuck the Trends," and you guys can order shirts that says that you've been on Design Talk, so or that you're just a groupie. Either way, whatever floats your boat. So join in. This is the Thanksgiving issue of I'm a Designer, Bitches. Again, kind of the framework for Design Talk is this is a call-in talk show. So call in, hit the little green and white button, and then I can add you into the call. By doing so, this is a spot for you guys to have your voice, for you guys to share your cheers and your jeers. Going into Thanksgiving, is it hard for you to define what it is that you do to your dear Aunt Edna. Um, if not, then share with other people how you share with your dear Aunt Edna when she asks you, so how are things doing, dearie? Are you working? Um, you can say yes, or you can teach other people how to say yes. So join in on the call. Remember to hit share and to join in. Hit the little green and white button. Natasha's a regular on the show. Call in, Natasha. Um, uh, yeah, join in. This is about you guys. So I could sit here and talk for the next hour. That I get really freaking boring, or you guys can call in and talk. This is about you. And if you've never called in, call in. It's really easy. I know some people are like, oh, I don't have my makeup on. You know what? The camera adds 10 pounds anyhow, so you're screwed anyhow. Just call in. Nobody much cares. It's all about the lighting, and this lighting sucks. And I got 2 zits on my forehead, so this is beautiful. Beautiful. So, call in. I don't want to be sitting here this whole time. I had a bunch of you guys that were talking about it in chat groups about how you wanted to call in, building up the courage and whatnot. We go live every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. This is a platform for you guys to share. I've been in the industry for, why do people, not clients, always ask if you're busy? Why ask that a topic of conversation? They only ask when I'm not. I don't know. Call in and let's have a conversation about that. I think people always hit you up when you are busy, and when you're not, you're sitting there going, hey, I need work. So, I don't know. Are you posting your schedule? Are you posting your availability? Maybe that's a good tip. Let's see. We got Jamila calling in. Let me add you to the call. Jamila calling in. So again, this is a call-in talk show, so please join in. Please hit the share button. That will help get this audience out. You were totally upside down. That's awesome.
Oh man, I am. Oh wow, this is weird. Um, I'm designing my own bedroom right now, and I'm
It
laying
looks
on
like
different
it. It
pillows.
looks like it.
Yeah, I'm laying on pillows to figure out what I like, and I've got oh god, I've got like 8 more to try because I like super smushy. The husband likes super firm, and then we've got a 9-year-old. I can't make this work because I've got my glasses off. Hold on, I should put those on, then I can see what I'm doing.
That would be good. And for all you clients watching,
Woohoo!
this is a designer in action. This is not the
Yeah,
typical
I
design, but you know what? Designers are creative, so
yeah,
they come up with all kinds of crazy shit.
yeah, I think like you learn the rules, you break the rules, but I know I don't care if it's like Tibetan monkey feather down, that was thrashed on the wheat of virgins or something. I don't care about any of that. If it doesn't feel good, I don't want it and I'm not going to use it.
All
So
those virgins
yeah, I'm
just like
taking this
gave up
morning before I go
some good
into
action.
the office to like lay on pillows and see what I like. And then when you ask me, oh, I want a super firm pillow that's got Tibetan monkey wool in it, I will have the answer.
That's
So yay.
yeah, because you've tried it. So what is Tibetan monkey wool who's been processed by virgins? Well, how does that feel? Is it firm or soft? Is it
Well,
kind of
it
loose? I'm not
certainly
sure.
makes you want to go to bed, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, I actually do have a question for you though.
Sure.
Um yeah, I felt the need to I was compelled to explain why I was upside down and like blind for a minute.
I've learned to
So
not
I'm
ask questions
I'm
like
new to
that.
the world of design. I'm a career changer. I've been a broadcast journalist for a long time, and I am taking a break from politics, race, and religion for a minute because design has compelled me to like put stuff together. I was nesting all through 2016. I don't know if you were around for that year, but um, I've had friends and family say, "Oh, design for me. Your place looks great." So, for somebody who's new to the industry, I've got a lot of connections just because of the work that I have done and the work that I still kind of do because I'm told politics is like the mafia, you never really get
Natasha
out of
says,
it.
Natasha says, "Welcome to our crazy world." It is
Hey,
pretty crazy.
Natasha, it is pretty crazy, but I'm loving it so far. My thing is for those of us who like need more design like clientele and stuff. Like I know ASID and whatnot, but where are the cool kids hanging out? Where are the conferences and the people that I want to know and I want to get connected to? And just get a sense of what else and who else is out there because I'm really lonely. I work out of a store in
It
Tyson's
seems like
Corner,
you work out of your
Virginia.
bed. So unless
Yeah,
unless
well, yeah.
unless, unless you've unless this is the client meeting room, then I understand
Well,
your problem.
yeah, yeah. It's
So
hard, but like,
have you gotten out to events? And for anybody watching, comments, throw comments in, join on, so you can request to join, and let's answer Jamila's question. The question was, she's new to the industry. Where do you connect now? Are you looking to connect with designers specifically, or are you looking to connect with clients, or are you just looking to connect?
all of the above, because the only designers that I really connect to are people who are in the store I'm in, or those I've got friends who say, "Oh, well, such and such is my designer. You should meet him." Oh, have you read this piece in Arlington magazine? The designer they talk to is this person, and she's great. But outside of that, I feel like it's GeoCities in the late 90s, and I'm like finding people online, but if I get up and walk into the real world, I'm alone again. So
I used to
that's
be
my
the
question,
I used to be the
and
jerk
and
in the
I really
chat rooms. I used to be the jerk in the chat rooms and people get pissed about it too because I'd put in the comment, walks around room and slaps everybody, and they'd get all mad. Oh, you can't slap people. Yeah, so yeah, those chat rooms. Oh man. Um,
oh
so
man,
you can get a lawn chair and just hang out at your local design showroom. That can get creepy. Um, Earlier this week or this weekend, Dixie and Rachel on Design and Style did a compliments challenge. So you could take your folding chair, set up a spot over at the local design center, and compliment people. Um, Honestly,
yeah.
get involved. This is a I've been in this industry for 18 years, and in the last 2 years, we've started using the term community. So you've jumped in at the perfect time. People are more willing to kind of help out and support you than ever. It's pretty amazing. Last night I was on a thread and on Claire Jeffords' group, and one person asked a question, and man, the flood of responses and support for her was amazing.
Yay.
And Luann jumped in there, and she was giving advice, and so this is a very supportive community, and it's growing. It's growing in its sense of community. So I would say if you can get to them, get out to like market, get out to the different design weeks, and don't be shy. Just go up and talk to people. If you go to a local design week, those are your local designers, and those are your local customers too that go to those things. They wander into them too, and those are your customer too. So good opportunity to talk to people. Um, Here's one that I don't hear very often, but a lot of designers tend to associate themselves with realtors. I don't
Hmm.
necessarily agree with that one because when you're buying a home, you're pretty much spent on buying the house. But if you get to know the mortgage brokers, those guys know when you're taking a second out on a home for renovation or for that pool or whatever. So those are the people that are handing
Mm.
out the cash, not the people
Oh
that are.
wow, that's great.
So build up your network of mortgage brokers, And anybody listening, go ahead and argue that or confirm it. I could be could be off my rocker. I come from hotel casino, so we're looking for big giant, commercial developers with billion-dollar budgets. I also build relationships with a local anthropology. We're thinking about doing in-shop tutorials. Well, there you go too. So another relationship
Oh
building.
my God, that's great. Thank you, Stephanie Owens. Oh
Yeah.
wait, my thumb.
So
uh,
that's a good one too. It's
yay.
connecting with the local businesses and doing pop shops and doing vignettes while you're there. So those are important ones too. I see a lot more of that. Essentially, it gets you out there. They get a vignette styled by a designer. As far as I know, and you guys can jump in on this one too, those can stay up for quite a while. And then you can offer to just swap them out seasonally. So it's good for the store. It's good for your ability to capture business, and then you don't have to put a folding chair in a design center. That was it might not have been the best advice on that one, but it's a folding chair, and I did see it on Married with Children one time when it was in
Well,
the air.
they were in the supermarket because Al was too cheap to get air conditioning, and it was
Well,
summertime, and so while Peggy and Bud and Kelly were sitting there looking bored, Marcy was she married to Steve then? I think
I
she was
don't know.
married to Steve then,
They were a
and
funky
Al bought a
bunch.
stick of gum and was the 100,000th customer and stole it from Marcy, who should have actually been the winner. So yeah, go Married with Children.
So
Not
yeah,
that
I
I've
mean,
ever seen the show
I
at
don't
all
think you've seen
ever.
it before, but you know of the
No.
show, right?
Yeah, never heard of it. But Amanda Bierce, like Married with Children and Tracy Ullman Show, which gave us The Simpsons, of course, is the reason that Fox exists today. Without those two shows to build that network, there would have been no Simpsons, which exploded that network, turned it from the big three, broadcasting from big three to big four, and then gave us Fox News today. So Amanda
For
Bierce, who
better or
played
worse.
Marcy, who's one of the first producers to really blow up, as the kids used to say. I don't know what they say anymore. That's like you can't use that phrase anymore. But I'm not in an airport, so I can say blow up. Um,
You can. This isn't.
Amanda Bierce, who was
Uh, Facebook has no FCC, so you can use words like fuck,
exactly,
shit,
Amanda
crap.
Bierce, who was a woman, who was a lesbian, who still is, I guess, a woman and a lesbian. All kind like. There's always talk about diversity and inclusion and everything. That's what Fox was. Fox's early writers were black people, were women, were LGBT people, and yay. And now because of that, I kind of still show up on Fox News and do stuff and yell about politics. So yay, Married with Children. It's awesome. Take it, go and hang out at your local grocer when you're too cheap to put in air conditioning.
Or if you want to drum up clients, whichever one, you know. But
Okay, well, you know what? I found my pillow. I'm going to let somebody else ask you some questions. I'm going to lay here for a while because this is great.
all
Thank you
right,
so much. How do I
definitely,
hang up? I guess I'm going to hit X and see what happens. Bye.
yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
for the
All right,
suggestions.
definitely. So, anybody want to call in? Those were some tips. I'd love for you guys to argue that. Where are you guys getting your clients? The topic today was I'm a designer of bitches. This is we're all gonna go meet up with our families, hopefully for Thanksgiving. I don't know where I'm gonna go. And and they're gonna ask how things are going. And some of us are at a peak, some of us are at a valley, and sometimes it's harder to define as a creative what it is that we do. So when your Aunt Edna asks, "What do you do?" I'm a designer, bitches. Call in. This is a call-in talk show. Uh, this is a community. This is your guys' platform for talking. Today's theme is get empowered with it. Let's have a discussion. I get my clients from email lists, lots of content marketing. Stephanie is she was on. We did e-design, and so Stephanie is an e-designer. Casey, call in, call in. I draw the line at calling from bed. No, no, call in. You guys have got to meet Casey. Casey and Paul own Orion Chandelier out of Santa Ana, California. We've got a long history, and I'm sure that Casey's got things to say. I'm sure that she does. So I'd love for her to get in. She's on the manufacturing side, custom lighting, and I'm sure, and from hospitality. So I'm sure there's a lot that she can share from the manufacturer's perspective. Hint, 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 Casey, call in. But yeah, today we're talking about kind of the empowerment. I hear a lot of, I'm just this or I'm just that. And that's not the case. You guys are. I hear some designers saying, "Well, I make things beautiful for my clients." True, true. That might be if they're looking for beautiful, they might be looking for sleek or modern. Um, so that doesn't necessarily describe it. You guys, you guys, you guys change the way that people engage with their environment, whatever that means to whichever client. So I I value that in you guys. You guys are amazing because you guys have the ability to change the way that people engage with their environment. Whether that's a hotel, Rod does spas and retail locations. Um, Many designers do residential. I've got a ton of hospitality design friends. So for my hospitality design friends, it'd be great for you guys to call in too. A lot of the residential designers and stagers and just different designers, they don't necessarily understand hospitality. Um, I've been asked recently because I've been attending a lot of the residential markets and events, and then I was just out at BDNY, and it really is different when you go to residential shows. The designers are a lot more glitzy. There's more design celebrities and this sort of thinking and behavior. This isn't an area for us as custom lighting. However, I love. Well, so kind of talking about that right now, Casey. You know, kind of more and more is on the hospitality side. I saw this year Lucive at all the residential stuff and at the commercial stuff. Um, I think we're blurring the lines now as homeowners are affording more hospitality style design projects. You've got you got a whole slew of super wealthy people from the internet, you know, bust and boom and whatever you want to call it, real estate jumping up too. That line between hospitality and residential is blurring a lot. I'm watching a lot of my hospitality manufacturer friends go into residential. I'm watching residential start to design like hospitality. So there's a lot of crossover and there's a lot of room for transition. On the designer side of it, on the designer side, I see a lot of my designer friends on the residential side. They're very glitzy, design celebrity. On the hospitality side, I see designers that these guys show up to work Monday through Friday for the next several years. They don't have to go attract a new client. They don't have to be in front of a camera to do that. They've got a job. They're going to sit there and work on that project for the next 5, 8 years. So being glitzy and glammy kind of interferes with their ability to sit at their desk and do their job. Um, but in the hospitality space, there's a lot of feast or famine. You get done with a project and you're kind of sent to pasture. Um, for that, they go out, hunting down more work, looking for that next project to pick up. But what I've been noticing, and I don't know, maybe you guys can confirm or deny this one, but I'm watching a lot of my hospitality friends start to get into product development and start looking to sell that experience from hospitality into residential. So they're looking for product licensing agreements and they're looking to get product into residential. where there's a lot more customers and they can set up what Kelly Ellis calls mailbox money. Um, so I'm watching a lot of that crossover. So Casey, I don't think that line is so clearly drawn anymore. This is I think that as we have more of these open conversations, we'll learn that, you know what, that kind of was an imaginary line. And that, again, I come from 18 years of product design for hospitality, commercial, and and you know, we've gone from an industry to we've started using the word community. So I think that we start blurring that line, Casey. I'd love for people to call in. Casey, I'd love for you to call in. Um, it's neat me talking. That's not very cool, but it's better to have the conversation. So I'd rather, if you guys are going to comment, just hit the little green and white button and join in on the conversation. We've got about 30 more minutes on here, so feel free to call in. What red flags can I look for when meeting a client to avoid those who like to micromanage? I don't know. They're micromanagers. I've had a couple of these, and they just leave me wondering, why do you hire me? LOL. This could be so. Um, Ariana, is it Ariana? Call in. Let's have that conversation. Um, the comments are awesome, and it's good for people to read back through. But call in. Let's have a conversation about it. It gives people the opportunity to call in as well, and then give their feedback. So there's a little, I think it's down on the bottom. It might be to the right. Facebook, it's now a green and white button. It lets you join in on the call. We've got several posts about it on our feed, so you can see what that button looks like. It's a little green and white button. It looks like a person and a small screen person. I don't. So hit the button and join in on the call. As far as what signs to look for in a micromanager, I don't know. Those guys are sneaky little buggers. I don't know. Anybody have any advice? That'd be some good dating advice too, so you can figure out, oh God, which ones are, you know, which ones are gonna latch on and for dear life, and which ones are gonna be the psycho crazies. I wish I could tell you the answer to that one. I don't know, but when you find them, if you run fast. So feel free to call in. This is a call-in talk show, and so feel free to hit the little green button. Our topic for today is I'm a designer, bitches. Get empowered, damn it. Just keep hearing people who are, I don't know that it's a humble thing. I think that in the creative field, we tend to not value ourselves. And so somebody said boundaries. Rachel's on. Hey, Rachel, join on. Yeah, I don't know. In the creative field, I think we tend to not value our work. And I don't know. You guys can share this as your experience, and this is again good Thanksgiving conversation. But odds are you were that person that moved the furniture around and had good color selection, and this was a talent that you had. So odds are your family kind of used it. And then you discovered that this was a talent you had, and you went into design. A lot of people, and talking with a lot of different designers, this is a second career. I wanted to be an animator for Disney. I ended up being a product designer for hotel casino lighting. So, so for a lot of us, it's kind of, we don't know, and we're kind of discovering it. And again, this was an industry, so learning, we didn't really have a community to run things by. So, so it was kind of, hard for us to learn from each other because there was no community. There was a lot of silos where the industry didn't talk to each other. So when you went into this field, you'll talk to other designers that'll let you know that you used to go to design showrooms and everybody just hoarded info to themselves, and you kind of didn't talk to each other because you didn't want people stealing your ideas. That's not so much the case anymore. we're a community now, and we're starting to talk more. And when you get into design centers, you're talking with other designers, you're curious about what kind of projects. You meet that person that specializes in kitchen and bath, and you network with them to help you grow your design services as well. So it's not I don't think it's so cut and dry anymore. But but we're just now starting to learn this stuff. We've just now got podcasts and resources available, blogs where people are starting to share this information. Um, when is the first Design Talk meetup? I don't know. That's a good question. We're not working on that right now. We are working on not through Design Talk, but I am working on a film. Um, the manufacturers at Vegas Market, I'm looking to team up with them, and we're looking to do a film. Um, we just announced in Orange County that we're teaming up with local designers in Orange County to do a three-part documentary series on different designers. So feel free to reach out for that. If you're in the Orange County, California area, PM me and then I can set you up. It does require that you get sponsorship, and we have sponsorship packages for you. So we're working on that. Oh man, I think we'll end up doing some panel discussions over at Vegas Market in January. And yeah, just I've got a bunch of other stuff that I can't share yet, but yeah, working on a bunch of different things. A meetup, Natasha, isn't necessarily one of them yet, but um, uh, feel free to reach out. Maybe we can throw something together. This is a call-in talk show. We've had one caller today. Feel free to call in. We've got about 27 more minutes, so it'd be better filled with your voices and not mine. So feel free to call in. Hit the share button. Um, uh, Call in. Let's have some good conversation here. The topic for today is I'm a designer, bitches. Get empowered, damn it. So I'm going to try to come to Vegas in January. Yeah, you should. If all goes well, we'll be, let's see, join the fan page. If all goes well, we'll be filming a film in at a Vegas Market. So that should be interesting. I've never done this. I'm executive producing a film that we're tentatively calling Market the Movie. If the film goes off, then we are looking to then release it to all the trade associations throughout the country and to design schools so that design schools can understand the value of going to market, and they can see what the life of Kelly Ellis is like when she attends trade show events. And so it can get really fun. I'm looking forward to it. This is a big project. I've never done anything like this before, executive producing a film. So stay tuned on that one. That one get pretty interesting. So people call in. This is a call-in talk show. You have to call in from your phone. In order to call in, you have to tip your phone sideways. We'll do a split screen that way. Hit the little green and white button it's either at the bottom of the screen or off to the side. I always say it off to the side, but you guys can tell me if I'm wrong on that one or not, where the green button is. But join into the call. Otherwise, this gets really boring really fast. I'm pretty sure I hear crickets. So call in, and let's have a conversation. In the meantime, we have launched our Design Talk Groupies page. Thank you, Natasha. And the Groupies page has a bunch of stuff on it. We actually even started doing shirts and coffee mugs. Our first topic, which wasn't even an episode, it was episode 0, was fuck the trends. And so you can get the Fuck the Trends coffee mug available on the Design Talk fan page. We've got a cool little graphic that reminds you very boldly to fuck the trends. So there's that. We also have a Design Talk groupie shirt. We got a bunch of different shirts. I called in to Design Talk Facebook Live um, shirt. So yeah, call in. Let's talk. You guys are going. We're going into the holidays. You're gonna go sit with family and friends. They're gonna be asking, you know, how things are going, how business is. What have you been up to these days? And for a lot of designers, it's kind of hard to describe or, you know, whatever that you're a designer and what does that mean? And I just keep hearing people say, you know, oh, I'm just doing this or I'm just doing that. So today is I'm a designer, bitches. Let's have let's take some pride in what we do and let's hear from other people how you're going to approach that question with family and friends this holiday. How can I live without mid-century modern decor? Yeah, I don't know. And Jamila, do you have? Oh, I think that's because you called in. Uh, you have a cool blue check mark. I think that's because you called in. So if you guys call in, you get a cool blue check mark next to your name, and I think that means that you've been added to the Facebook Live call. So that's pretty neat. The way that Facebook Live works is when you go live, it shares it with your group as well. Are you verified? So I think that's the gray check mark on your profile, but I think the blue one on this call is that you called in. Facebook's working on a bunch of new features for Facebook Live, so I've been following on, trying to uh, keep up to date with. They keep dumping new features into this thing. So um, people join in the call. We've only got about about 22 more minutes, so join in on the call. This is I'm a designer, bitches. We're gonna be We're gonna be meeting with family and friends for the holidays. So this is uh, your opportunity to share with us kind of how you're gonna approach the question from your dear Aunt Edna when she asks you, you know, what have you been up to and how things going. How are you gonna define your job as a designer? So call in. This is a call-in talk show. Um, an example that I had was um, and I do product design. So I was working for Triton Chandelier at the time. Met up for I forget what holiday it was, but we were doing a barbecue at my grandparents' house, and I was sitting with my aunt, and we were talking, and I was what was I doing at the time? I was managing the CAD department, and I believe we had already grown it. So we had gone from 5 to maybe 12 at the time. Um, and I was overseeing the whole CAD department. We were changing out inventory and putting it together systems and processes and inventory control systems. And strangely enough, my mom had been to the factory several times, so it's not like she didn't know what I did, or at least I would have thought she would have got it. So I was talking to my aunt, and I was letting her know, oh yeah, so I do this, 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 and that. My mom's sitting next to me and goes, "That's not what you do." And I was like, "Okay, well, cool, mom. Like, so what is it that I do then?" And she's like, "Oh, you work at a machine shop." And I was like, "Well, I guess so. My dad's a machinist, so my mom apparently, you know, assumed, you know, I work at a machine shop." And so, yes, I do work at a machine shop, Mom. I just happen to, you know, I'm just in the uh, CAD department and oversee operations. But so sometimes our family, they don't necessarily get it. They don't necessarily understand what we do. Um, you know, uh, they're not, this stuff tends to be, and we dive in very deeply in our passion and what we love. And the design industry is kind of borderlines on more of a passion play than a job. Um, so so it is kind of an interesting one to define. Hey, Bobby, if you want, join in on the call. We're talking about kind of we're going into Thanksgiving, and how you're gonna, when your Aunt Edna asks, what you're doing, and what are you up to now at these days, how you define you're a designer. I'm a designer, bitches. Get empowered. I keep hearing people say, I'm just a this or I'm just a that, but you know, how do you define that? And then share with others, because I guarantee you other people are wondering the same sort of stuff. If you've got a question, if you've got a concern, a worry, a fear, um, you know, others do too. Um, Earlier we had the question of how do I find new clients and how do I connect with other designers, and so that was a pretty Bobby, just from your cell phone, you got to tip your phone sideways, and then there's a little green and white button. It looks like a silhouette of a person and then a little square of another person. It's like the screen share icon. So just hit that, and then it'll ask to join in, and then I'll add you in. Um, but yeah, so earlier we had the question of, how do you connect with other people? It comes up sideways or not now. I'm assuming it did come up because, and I'm so sorry, I'm going to slaughter names. I'm bad at names, numbers, or what day of the week we're currently sitting in. So I left my phone in Toronto. I'll see if my iPad will let you. The camera, I have the same question. Simone, Simone, feel free to call in. If you're on your cell phone, call in. I hear it's even easier on your iPhone, but I am a social media live hooker, and I jump on just fine from my Android. So, and I hijack everybody's live feeds all the time. So feel free to call in, turn your phone sideways, about get a connection with other designers. Yeah, well, feel free to call in. So, and then anybody else who has suggestions. So this is now a second person that's asking, how do you get connected with other designers? My first suggestion was get a folding chair and just pull up shop over at your local design center. And Dixie and Rachel from Design and Style issued a compliments challenge. So while you're sitting there in your chair, you can compliment people as they walk by. That's bad advice. I would say get out, get involved in your trade groups, get involved in local events, go to the design shows, your local design week, and Rod's joining in. Get involved locally, go to the different market events, join in on those.